Hey everybody, it's Carl, aka Carl Drum Tech. It's been a while, I know. Hello again. Um, if you've been subscribed and you're seeing this for the first time, thanks for checking in to see what I've been up to see what's going on. If you're new to the channel and you're seeing this for the first time, this might not be the best introduction to me and my brand, so definitely go watch some of my other earlier videos so you can kind of get a gist of exactly what I'm about, what this channel is about. Basically, it's about drumming advice, free drumming advice on the internet, and I was doing that for the last couple of years, and I had a really great time doing it. So for those of you guys who have been following me for a while, you've probably noticed that I've been posting content very much lately, whether that's on YouTube or Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And there's a lot of things that's happened, and there's a lot, and even before that, there was a drop off in terms of making content. And I think a lot of that has to do with just kind of like creative fatigue, or just maybe just fatigue in general over social and just creating content constantly, which I was doing pretty much every day for the last several years. And I think I just kind of got exhausted. I think I kind of just went into a creative rut, and then got busy doing other things, building Ensemble Block, which I'm absolutely excited about. Building my other media company, and I've just been focused on creating content for everybody else. Not to say that I didn't enjoy that or I don't enjoy that, but it kind of takes away from the creative flow. It kind of takes away from like my own superpowers to create content for myself. So that's kind of the reason why you haven't been seeing content from me. I've been so focused on creating content for everybody else that I just literally didn't have the energy or the bandwidth to create my own content. And I definitely enjoyed making my own content. It's just that I was just not in the right headspace, not in the right creative headspace, or mental headspace, emotional, whatever. It was just not the right time. And then I've had some life events recently that just kind of made it more so harder for me to get back on track. Back in February, I went to Team EA. For Ensemble Block, and and basically spread the word of what we're doing, and put our foothold there in the Texas area. But right before that, my dad suffered a stroke. I was assured he'd be okay, which is the reason why I decided to go to Texas and take that trip. But and it was, for all intents and purposes, he was fine, I guess. The thing is, but the stroke definitely created some damage. He had this condition called aphasia, which made it harder for him to speak. And then he couldn't use his right arm and right leg were paralyzed. So even though he was quote unquote okay, he had this disability, and then he had to go through physical therapy to try to work through that to see if we can get some movement back and stuff. But for what I understood, the worst was over, right? So we went through therapy. It was a couple months of that. Definitely I was focused on, as the family was, and taking care of my dad. And we were very hopeful. And, he was doing very well in his therapy. He was improving. Within a few months, we were talking about, possibly taking him home to, resume his therapy at home. And then all of a sudden he, went to sleep and didn't wake up. He had a injury in his head. It caused even more brain damage, and that was it. I lost my dad back in May, which is hard. It was traumatic. It was one of the hardest things I ever had to go through in my life. Just dealing with that loss and dealing with the grief, and and there was a lot of things going on with me as far as how my mental health was concerned, and where I was mentally, and it was just not in a good place, as a lot of people would be, right? And then just 2 weeks ago, maybe you guys know, maybe you guys don't know, but me and my girlfriend Tammy, we have a dog named Donut. He was diagnosed with kidney failure last April, and that would have been it for him, but we worked really hard to take care of him and manage his disease, and he was actually doing very well considering. Yeah, he started to decline because of old age, but like the kidneys were holding up. We had the special diet, we gave him special supplements, and it was a daily thing, taking care of him every single day. So can you imagine? I got very as close as I was to our dog Donut. We got even closer because it was literally like, I was doing something with him every single day, like for several hours a day. Unrelated to kidney disease, we lost him as well 2 weeks ago, and it was just his spine. It was like a spinal injury, just some discs that deteriorate with age and just causing him a lot of pain. And just we decided it was time to let it go because it was just in too much pain. So then I had that happen, and I'm going through the grief process again. Not that it ever stopped, but it's just like, oh, it's another thing. Here's another thing on top of it. Another point of just grief and sorrow and a lot of sadness. A lot of sadness. I'm smiling through it, trying to smile through it. It's within my personality to smile and be happy and be positive, and it's at the core of who I am. It's at the core of who Carl Drumtech is. So I guess that part of my personality was tested for sure. How can I stay happy? How can I stay positive? How can I smile through everything that's happening? That part gets tested through the tragedy and the trauma that I've been going through. It's hard. It's really freaking hard. And today, even just before filming this video, I was having a hard time. Just finding motivation, finding purpose, finding a drive to do anything, like anything worth doing, I guess. But I think my personality kind of wins out in the end in terms of like, I can't just sit back and just not do anything. I can't just sit back and be stationary. I cannot just exist. I have to be productive. I have to do things. I have to accomplish things. I have to make an impact in the world. I feel like I've done that. I think I've done a lot of it. But there's more. There's more to be done. So having a purpose, having a drive, having some type of motivation to accomplish things is important. There needs to be purpose. Otherwise, why do anything? And there's still a lot going on, and there's a lot of things to be thankful for. And that's the thing that helps to keep me grounded, is that, you still have your family, you still have Tammy, you still have, like Ensemble Block, you still have your business, and I should continue to work to continue to get better. I need to make my dad proud. I need to show Donut up there that I'm happy, that I'm okay. And so I'm going to get back to it. That's, I guess, long story short. I want to get back into it. I want to get back into the content I know how to make. And, things change you, right? Certain events change you. And I think this could be it for me, like in terms of just having something that has happened, a lot of things that has happened, that can change the course of your life. And I believe this to be it. And, I think that's what's going to get me going in terms of creating content, being inspired, putting myself in an element that makes me happy, that makes me smile, that makes me, feel like, yeah, this is all worth it, right? So you're gonna see that again. And maybe it's not going to be exactly the same. I think it'll just be more grounded in perspective. So you'll see the same, not right now, but you'll see the same Carl Drumtech, just with more wisdom, more perspective, more experience. It's really easy when you haven't lost anything to say, yes, we got to be happy, we got to be, positive, we got to move forward. Like, I didn't really understand what people were saying when they said, I've gone through so much and I have to keep moving forward. Stupid me, right? Thinking, yeah, why wouldn't you think that? Why wouldn't you, move forward? Like, life goes on, let's go, right? It's easy for me to say that when I haven't lost anything. Of course, that's not to say that, I've also met people who've lost, people or whatever, and I'm surprised at how they're able to carry on and move on. Not move on, but like, just keep going with their lives. And there's a part of me too that's like, wow, how do you do that? You're so strong. So I now understand. It's like I understand and I don't understand. Like I understand those people now, how, there's no choice. You just got to keep moving forward. And I didn't understand, like, people saying, I just got to keep moving on. It's hard, but, and then I didn't understand then. Now I do. It is hard. So I think, and a lot of my content, especially on YouTube, is about, just life stuff and, how drumming relates to life and life relates to drumming. And which is why I make this video, which is why I'm putting this out there. So a lot of the content you'll see will have that perspective. Will have that thing in me that's like, I've gone through some stuff, and it'll shape the content somewhat. There's an underlying theme with the loss I've had, but we're gonna get through it. But that's the gist of it. If you've been watching this far, I really appreciate you watching, and we'll get back to it. I think the next video is going to be more, regularly scheduled content. I was doing YouTube videos once a week, so my goal is to try to get back to that. So the first video I intended to be more drumming related, more, the content that you're used to seeing. But at some point, I do want to do a tribute to my dad. I do want to do a tribute to Donut. It's important for me to do that. I think I need to do that. It helps me. So, and you watching and knowing that, you care helps me too. So thank you if you've watched this far. I really appreciate you sitting down here basically to listen to my story. And everybody who's followed me this far and have subscribed to my channel, like, it really means a lot to me. And it meant a lot then, and it means a lot to me now that you came back to kind of check in. And if you're going to check out some other content I create later on, I appreciate that as well. So that's about it. That's the update. Thanks so much again, like I said, for watching. If you want to ask questions or just leave a comment, say what's up, I'd appreciate that too. So if not, that's okay, all good. But follow along. We're gonna keep this going. All right, peace. Catch you guys next time.